Oh,
Lost him.
hello. I'm here again.
And he's back.
Hi.
There you are.
Hello.
Alrighty. So, I think everything's back to normal. I was just talking to myself for the longest time. Alrighty. As I was saying, at
You're
least the last.
describing what's this?
Yeah, last thing I heard was with that perception roll, and then you cut out.
Ah, yes. With that perception roll, you'd notice that, like, pretty much for about every 30 sphinxes, there's, like, about maybe 5 at most, like, unicorns. It seems to be predominantly at least the area, if not the population in general.
Well, would nice.
Interesting.
I mean, they don't exactly, like, pay any mind to you. If anything, the older people that are around would seem to be in this. Alright, I'm just doing a quick refresh, and then I'll be able to resize the P to the proper size, rather than, like, what is it, like, half a kilometer?
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's the size
pretty,
of like
pretty large.
There
it
we
is
go.
the size of like 4 isdals.
Alright, this is
It's the size of 4 isdals.
the
That is a specific unit of measurement now.
That
I
is
think
the
it's
potion
size of
shop.
4 steady shoots and 16 isdals.
Apologize, but it does not look like the stream is loading.
Ah, it'll catch up. Yeah, it'll catch up. It's just my internet being weird.
That's a good thing, man.
Yes.
I think it's more of a hope.
I entirely expect, like, moments where this stream is just going to just go down, and I'm just gonna continue on. Like, we got it.
Wait.
We got it.
It came back. Oh.
hopefully it'll be recorded and
Oh, hey, and I see the P got small.
It did.
And then it went away. Oh, then it came back. And then somebody called
in
me.
a building now.
I'm going to tell him to buzz off.
Alrighty. So
That was that.
I mean, that's pretty much what's immediately noticeable on your path. And you could certainly try to, like, perception,
Wait,
like, a
what is
kilometer away, but, you know.
What is it that we see?
This potion shop. Oop, right there.
That's right, the potion shop. Sure.
And I feel like we should be looking for an inn.
If we go
rest
farther
and
into the
recreate,
city,
etc.
if we go far into the city, we'll find plenty of inns.
Isn't it kind of the middle of the day?
Yep.
Really? Yes.
Funnily enough, only the older folks
It's a good
seem...
idea to.
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, it's still a good idea to find a place now and get rooms now before everyone gets evening.
That's
This
fair.
is important.
Also a major college, so you might actually stay.
Oh, I'm missing things. What was that?
Mostly talking about the availability. It's a major sport with also a huge
That would
college.
that would seem opposite. Is that if it's a major shipping port, you'd have more inns?
Yes, but they'd also be
Yeah,
constantly in
but-
use.
Less
Well,
availability.
Maybe
More
out near the
inns, less
docks,
availability.
but
Past the potion shop, I would like to give a kind of a quick glance and judge its contents, other than just like health potions.
Ah, well, just by the window display and the thing alone, it seems to be like a lot of buff type potions. Funnily enough, things like potions of bowl strength that are on display and labeled, potions of haste, etc. Things like that.
Okay.
Little Spout suddenly gets a absolutely terrible idea and flies over and checks to see if they're like shaped like a heart.
Give me a perception roll.
why?
Little Spout is a spouting carrot.
That sounds very to me.
Dorm, aren't you?
Yes, I don't have a choice. I do not.
You get exactly what they give you.
Exactly.
They give
And
you an option to like pay it doesn't suck.
Nope, I cannot, because that would just mean they have to actually infrastructure everything. However, let me put the B in the proper place right here. Whoop. Right there sits a barber shop. Funnily enough, it's just named the Stylish Inn. It seems to be rather like a sister company of sorts.
Now, Little Spout been getting a cut and then realizes, wait a second, I am current. If they tried to cut my hair, that would only end really badly. There would just be no happy endings there.
I would probably agree, yeah.
So Little Spout decides not to get her mane done today.
Alrighty. Add this in, because you guys do start hearing more.
Take a peek, though.
Inside seems to be a Sphinx who is kind of doing like a small whistle, and from what you know of how he's levitating the pair of clippers behind of him, he seems to be using a mage hand and just kind of whistling, doing his thing, giving another Sphinx a haircut. Though it's funny, he's doing a magnificent job, but he's not exactly looking directly at him.
Little Spout is mildly impressed. She gives a little nod and then pulls her small face out of there.
And actually, feel free to give me a small perception check upon like kind of rounding this corner if you guys would like.
You said investigation?
Perception.
That does not
Perception.
exist.
This is not 5e. What do you know?
Wow. We got some good perceptions up in here. Well, everybody, including even Little Spout, you guys do kind of notice that there seems to be posters kind of around on some of the buildings. There's sometimes even like two of the same posters just kind of plastered on over each other. And you just see it's just this depiction of a kind of just like a drawing really of a dragon, a princess, and what looks to be two opposing teams coming in from the left and right, kind of like in a fight. And it just says starting tomorrow, and below it just says game day.
A fall tournament or
Little Spout starts clapping while she's floating. Clap, 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 clap. And of course, that sounds entirely wrong for her little paws, but...
Star Dancer, you would definitely know this game as Save the Princess with an actual question mark.
Star will roll her eyes as she passes the banners.
No, this is... And then Little Spout starts over to her husband too. Is this our game?
I don't know. I've never been here. And she kind of looks up to Star Dancer. Star Dancer, what's this game? It looks like fun. And
if they play our game as like an official sport thing, then I am totally entering. We're gonna win. How do you win?
And Star Dancer just...
I'm sure it's something completely different.
So pretty much Star Dancer, just given your past explanations of where you hung out on campus, the rules may be a little foggy for you, but the general concept you know is that two teams are fighting to get the most points from saving a princess on field. That is the general concept of the game that you can gather.
That sounds entirely... Yes, so I will explain this to the group as I continue on.
Very nice.
In as sarcastic a tone as possible. It's the stupidest game ever, but everyone loves it for some reason.
Little Spout still looks interested.
Wait, is this a sport?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, any game's a sport as long as you decide who wins and who loses.
And on top of those perception
Pretty sure
checks,
sport has additional things.
Darkfire, you just kind of notice more from hearing than anything. Down the road here, and I'm gonna kind of copy and paste this big B, this actual small B right here. Boop.
Wait,
There's
Save
the
it.
sound of hammering coming from down the way.
Alrighty. What is
Suddenly, Little Spout goes zipping down the street.
And the hammering, it is more apparent that the it is definitely a blacksmith.
Little Spout prances in, her illusion like fading off as if like the doorway had dispelled it.
And kind of putting like the two that run this shop. This seems to be a rather he's not as old as the people on the outside of the city, but he's on a little bit in age. It's a sphinx with these kind of welding goggles on almost, and next to him is another unicorn who seems to be kind of taking notes. It's not really like a doored area either. Like it's like open for anybody to kind of walk in and watch.
Little Spout is just prancing up and looking for which one of them looks less busy.
I mean, they both seem pretty busy. The hammering from the Sphinx, he seems entirely kind of focused on hammering what seems to be a great axe fit for somebody the size of Steady Shoot. And occasionally the unicorn will look over as he's like hammering it away. And on the table that she's working on, you do see like some arcane marks and things like that upon the paper. And she kind of scribbles a couple out and she rewrites a couple, and she's just keeping a close eye on it.
Little Spout will wave at both of them and none of them. Go, hello, I want to buy a set of mithril armor that fits me.
Huh? What? And he kind of looks around, squints a little bit. Fits you? Huh? And he kind of sets down his he sets down his hammer. Dusk. Do we have any of those? And he looks over. Ah, what? I think we do. Kind of like looks you up and down. So why does a child need this? And Candlelight's actually the first to kind of pipe up. Hey, she's not a child. She's my wife. And they kind of give him like a small worrying look. All right, calm down.
At that point, Little Spout implies that is not the best defense.
I kind of lock in at this point. Yeah, don't worry. They're old enough. Doesn't look like it, but they're good. Don't worry about it.
I have a better explanation for this Little Spout raising a hook. We're adventurers.
I bet you are, little one. And and the Sphinx kind of sets down his hammer. He doesn't take off his goggles, and it definitely shows, because as soon as he stands up to go walk behind the way, he kind of runs into the side of the wall. Thump! Ow! I should take these off. And he kind of pulls them off, and like his own like fur and featherage like is not the same color as the area protected underneath his goggles. And he kind of opens the door. He opens the door. He goes in and he pulls out what seems to be like exactly what you wanted, like a small mithril chain shirt fit just for Little Spout. And he's like, huh, guess I don't sell many of these much often. I'll have to make a new one. And he kind of scrolls over to the counter. All right. And he lays down the price. 1,500.
Head to the right. And he looks back at the group. Does everybody have more praise than me?
He has a phrase. Answer honestly.
And then Little Spout realizes that she doesn't actually need to know what the price is, because she is going to insist that it's too expensive anyway, and she shall use her amazing diplomacy skills and bat her little lashes. What? No, that's a bit much for a little pony like me. You can do better than that, and I will carry it with me on my wild adventures, and I will tell everybody where I got it from.
Very nice. And he kind of just blinks his eyes a little bit, and he looks down. And he looks at the size of the thing. All right. I didn't have to use that many materials for it. All right. 1,200. He looks over. That 400 gold? You know, I thought it was a good discount. And he looks over. Dusk, is this a good discount? Kind of holds up like a couple paws and like it's like counting in the air, almost. And she just kind of nods. Huh? Yeah. Seems good to me.
Well, this is where I have to tell myself to not metagame, and since nobody else is actually rolling to know anything, and Little Sprout doesn't have enough to have clue,
Well, start answer with that appraise. You know it's probably a little bit steeper, but you also somewhat pick up on the fact that he seems to be kind of doing what some salesmen around here you have seen doing, which is he thinks that you guys are tourists, and so he's just going to bump up the price a little bit.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be sigh. Here, she pulls out a little card. You're with me. And actually, I have things to sell if you're willing.
And he kind of he puts on his welding glasses just for a second to look at it. Oh, whoops, wrong glasses. And he kind of pulls a different set from his pocket. Kind of puts them on. Student. Very nice, very nice, very nice. And he kind of looks at the thing. Well, if your friend wants you to, you can definitely have the student discount, 1,100.
What else does this shop have? Does this shop have anything else in there?
Most of what they seem to have is in the back, other than
I mean, it's a blacksmith.
Propped up.
Yep. So like hanging around, there seems to be a lot of just mundane like axes and things, and a lot of them seem to actually be of your size. And of course, as you opened that back room earlier, you'd get the sight of what seems to be a lot more shiny and shimmery weapons in the back. What was that?
Nice one. Alright, so I saw all of the masterwork weapons and other gear we found in the mines.
Very nice.
It's like, we're all tourists. Okay. But we found all this stuff in the
Ooh, and
while we were fighting monsters.
you kind of set them all on the table like one by one. Ding dong ding. And just you see his eyebrows retreating further and further up into his head as you lay down each weapon until you set down the last one, and he just kind of looks over.
And of course, all of them out of the same bag, which they should not fit in.
Yeah, and he looks over. Oi, Dusk. He looks over. Huh? What's that? What? Look at this. And she looks over. Very nice. I've seen more. And she kind of goes back to doing her thing on the paper. What? You're not gonna react to this? She looks over. Huh? Oh, wow. And then she looks back to her papers again. And then he kind of puts on it. He puts on his goggles again and like picks them up. God damn it! And then he puts it down again. Takes off his goggles. Puts on his reading glasses. Ooh, where'd you find these?
Well, there were a bunch of Tengu blocking the mines. We probably should have taken a boat, but we cleared it.
And he kind of frowns. Oh, there's a bunch of rowdy Tengu that traveled down the river there, not too long ago. Guess we should have stopped them.
If you're wondering what happened to the mines, it was the Tengu.
That's well. I mean, and he kind of shrugs. Business is business. It's not my business where you guys get this from. And he kind of lays down the price of what they would be per weapon, which I could definitely get to you in the future for that. I have all the prices written down.
told the party what the money for half price of the best work was, so
Mm-hmm.
as long as we get at least that.
Well, he is definitely giving you the price market value for that mithril, which is that 1,100.
Yep.
Well, there's the mistake. That little shot raises a small hook. I bet that's the price for a regular suit. You only need to use half as much because I'm little tiny. Which is actually a thing. The like face value of it is half as much.
Ah, these are things I did not know. However, blinks, blink, blink, blink. All right, I'll give you it for half of that if you let me just take these weapons off your hand.
It's not much over everybody else.
I think we get more from the weapons from that. Oh, a lot of weapons.
You can use this as credit towards this.
I mean, that's up to you guys.
No. Is part of the weapon. You're giving it as credit towards the top.
I suppose I should ask which weapons specifically are you setting down, because I know there's quite a bit of weapons that you guys got. The most fancy looking one being that hammer that you guys got at the last treasure, the silver warhammer.
Not including the hammers. All of the masswork stuff we got in the entrance area.
Oh, I gotcha, I gotcha. Let me take a look at that. Oh boy, there's a lot of treasures here. And our game's roll.
Right now.
Oh.
Cooler. Okay.
The great axe and the great axe and the long sword that you guys got would pretty much cover about 600 and well, 635, which would be about half, a little over half of the price of the thing from cave chest 2, which would bring it down to that half price that he's telling you right now.
All of the masswork quality value of all the masswork weapons, just the weapons, not the armor, is worth about what he's charging for the chain shirt.
Ah, well, feel free to give me a diplomacy roll. Wish to barter such things.
I will barter such things. Where's my diplomacy? Oh, so hard. No idea.
The absolute hardest. Oh, very nice.
I rolled a 6. I got a 30.
And he kind of rolls his eyes. Hey, you students, you're so picky. You don't let me have my fun. And Dust kind of looks up. No, we don't. We don't. Don't shame her for that. And he looks over. Dusk, shut up! And looks over. All right, we'll do it.
We just want fair market value. It's not that big a deal.
At this point, the little about to start takes up her whole chainmail, throws it aside.
Very nice, very nice.
Look how shiny it is.
And Candlelight looks you up and down. And he's doing it kind of like mockingly almost. And he squints. I didn't think you could get any more beautiful. He kind of leans over and gives a hug.
Oh god.
Well, that's, you have to change it in the middle of the shop.
I mean, he seems like
If you found really good armor, you would put it on right away, wouldn't you?
he honestly seems like he's seen it a bunch of times before, and he just kind of shrugs. It's just what happens here, I suppose.
See, adventure.
I mean,
That's
it's not like if you really close, but like,
See, she is back in her little
Very nice. Oop.
The little crown upon her head. Her mighty scepter that she never earned.
Mighty scepter. I love it.
No, I mean the scepter like literally does nothing. It never did anything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know. You used it before, I think.
Did I bond something with it? What?
You did on the train, in Basin Sage.
Must have been very, very sad.
They have a train. Before I joined you.
Yeah. It was quite hilarious. However, is there anything else that you guys are doing in the blacksmith shop?
Anyway. So,
Working out of
And as you guys like get fitted on all this stuff, this blacksmith just kind of like leans over. Oi, you lit one, and he points to you, little spout. There's a kind of he kind of gives you, like, he pulls from underneath the desk like a small envelope that seems to have been like pretty much pre-pressed with the wax seal. There's another blacksmith shop right up the street. I need you to go give this to him. All right?
Oh, okay. I'm fast. She tucks away her mighty scepter, grabs the note in her mouth, and then zips away through the air. And, of course, she has totally forgotten to turn back into a sphinx.
little floating pony. Pony balloon.
That'll
We
wait.
just put a rope around her hind leg, and then we can say she's a pony balloon.
Yep. And I mean, you do hear that same like tink, tink, tink of like all the like the blacksmithery going on in that other shop. This one's just as open as the others. And there seems to be another Sphinx in there, more of a darker fur color, just kind of doing his thing. And he has his own set of what look like arcane notes next to him. And doesn't seem to have a second assistant in there with him, at least not right now that you could see.
About sits in there, the letter in plain sight in her mouth.
And he hears your footsteps before anything, and he kind of looks up, almost the same as like the other.
And he's still floating.
What was that?
He's still floating.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry about that. Well then he doesn't exactly look up.
Fairly silently.
Yeah.
Mythal armor is even quieter. He has gotten better at sneaking now.
Well, I mean, like over the sound of his own anvil, then he wouldn't actually notice you, as he just kind of keeps focused down on the sword that he's tending to. Tink, tink, tink.
What about considering her options? There are so many of them.
While you're considering, so I was going to thank the other blacksmiths for their time and throw all the money in her bag to be distributed later, and then walk out the shop, continue down a little spout who just ran off.
Running this for please.
Now she floated off. Yeah. I mean, she seems to have just walked into the other blacksmith's place. Or floated. Ah, what? Mm-hmm. And he kind of, he does like the same kind of look around as the other Sphinx did and pulls up his goggles. What's that?
What's about these for her notes still dangling?
And he kind of squints at it. He seems to be kind of almost squinting, like the same way that the that old one at the edge of town was squinting. And just kind of takes it, and you see him kind of rip it open with a claw. And immediately, before he even opens the envelope, like a bunch of confetti kind of pops out of the top, and you hear these like party sounds. And briefly, this piece of paper flips out of the envelope, and it just says, "I got another sale," and then it just kind of flutters to the ground. Oh, fuck.
The little spout tilts her head the other way. Wait, there's still a chance to...
What was that?
There's still a chance for him to get a sale.
And yeah, he kind of looks up. I mean, he's still reacting to the fact that we let her win off. Oi! Why'd you have to bring this to me? You're just rubbing it in, are you? Well, I bet he put you up to this. He put you up to this, and he kind of like stomps like just outside of his door. Oi! Just shouts down the way, and it takes like another like 3 seconds of just silence down the street. Well, like it takes about 3 seconds before you hear a response from the other side of the street saying, "What? Did she give it to you?" "Yeah, she did, yes." And then she turns back. He turns back. Hey, sorry about that. He's my competition. And he kind of squints his eyes. Explain.
Well, I need something that's even more expensive than what I got from the other guy.
Hmm? He raises an eyebrow.
Well, see, the other guy only got about half the $1,000. Oh, you would think that's expensive. But us adventurers, we have expensive tastes.
And he kind of puts his claws together. Go on.
At that point, she shall raise a hoof, which is still adorned with the horseshoes' speed. I think it's time that I upgrade the
Ooh, I like your taste, lass.
Yes, I want some, well, I mean, it's technically called Ruleset speed, but you know how it works when somebody wears things? But that just confuses because I'm already wearing horseshoes and speed. I feel like we need a new name, but whatever it is, I want the other one.
And he kind of thinks, how does the Flash sound? And I look up.
Ooh, flash shoes, I love it.
Ooh. And he kind of looks back. He looks back. I mean, it might take me a little bit to make those because I'm primarily metal here. And he kind of looks up and down. Well, depending on how much you offer me, will depend on how fast I get them done. Me a diplomacy. Indeed. And he kind of laughs. He laughs a little bit before just kind of giving his own door like a little bit of a look. Oi, if it means I get a sale over this guy, it's fine by me. Kind of blinks. Blink, blink, blink. 10,000? And he keeps blinking and just repeating the last statement that you said. 10,000. And before he can like even continue that, there's a slam from the same kind of back door as like the other guy, kind of like the other guy had. And this more maniacal looking-ish pony with like really big glasses that make his eyes look big, kind of slams the door open. Did you say 10,000? Oh my god, yes I can. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this forever. And he kind of like starts like hopping around. Please, 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 let me do this one. Please, let me do this one. And he just kind of shakes his head. Oi, you want to? Yes, 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 yes I do. Yes I do. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. And he kind of just like flumps onto the ground. Please.
Alright, so Little Stop is offering her 9,000 in cash plus her 14 at a retail value of 3,000.
He is perfectly okay with this transfer. Yes, in Beetle.
Now she is keeping on her feet, but how long can she have to be on her feet?
That's fair. Well, like I said though, he wouldn't have them on hand. He had to wait just a little bit to get them, but he's okay with the transaction.
Well, I'm assuming is he going to try off the old ones?
Yes, yes. Obviously, he'd help you with that. Ping, 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 ping.
Little Scout has no allurements on her this seat, and she somehow feels even more exposed than when she took off her dress. As though she's on her like the crap. Well, finish off the other ones as quickly as you can and let me know.
Shall do, miss. Shall do. And he kind of he goes behind his desk, and you see him kind of pull out this stone and like whisper to it almost. He kind of gives this to you. All right, this will tell you when they're ready. Isdell has continued down the road. And Isdell.
About this time, Star is probably passing in front of the second blacksmith.
Yep.
About waves and hunters going up.
Well, if you're walking ahead, feel free to give me that same perception roll if you'd like. Whoops. Perceptioning. Very nice.
Star is looking for a jeweler.
Oof. Star's looking for what?
A jeweler.
A jeweler.
On the way towards the college. Yes, because we need to sell off all the jewels.
Indeed.
How much they're worth.
Alright. And looking out
We
for
have the other
these
ones
things.
appraised.
You don't see any jewelers, Star Dancer, just at least down this road. Funnily enough, Star Dancer, Star Dancer, the roads and businesses, like, seem to have changed since you last left. Just in subtle ways, which isn't too uncommon for these streets. And, if there were any jewelers here in the past, they don't seem to be here at this exact moment. However, with...
I figure I can get someone at the college to pay me for them if nothing else.
Yep. And with the other perception rolls around here, you do see what looks to be another potion shop down the way, though it has a different symbolage over it. And to the east, you kind of smell what, or I guess right up here, sorry, you smell what would only be described as drugs. And looking down the road there. There is, in fact, a somewhat greenish sign hanging over one of the buildings, and a couple of stumbly and happy-looking sphinxes kind of coming out of the place.
I don't expect this to be know about specific item. I want, maybe.
Depends on what. Yep.
No.
Yes, that would be a no.
That's right. Steady don't know what he wants. He knows he wants something.
If you can describe it, Star may be able to figure out what you're talking about.
It's more. He probably doesn't. He wants something that does what makes him harder to hit. Like his spell does. Like his mirror image does, but not like mirror image. It's a cloak of displacement. That's what I want to get.
Well, here, I'll let you do this. Steady shoot, roll diplomacy to tell Star Dancer about this, and that is your DC to beat Star Dancer with your Arcana check. That makes sense.
Don't roll that one.
Not really.
I mean, it wasn't that.
Because like, how would me being
He can't.
Yeah, you get what he's saying.
I'm just like, so as long as rolls, actually, could have rolled one higher, and I could have rolled a 1 and still met DC.
Damn.
Right. I just don't understand. But that means that the worse I explain it with my lower diplomacy, the easier it would be for you to understand what I'm trying to tell you.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Whatever. Survivability. Steady.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Where to get one of those? Or to have one made?
Well,
Um,
it would probably be kind of cloth shop.
Well, give me a knowledge.
Yes, but I'm from here, so I'm like specifically.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Star Dancer, give me a knowledge local since you live here. So, haha. You know,
Probably also be pretty happy with like the magical jeweler sometimes.
those kinds of things you would find in the upper like college shops and things like that. Actually on campus. Typically they leave that kind of really high level magic item work up to like interns and students, so they have experience to do it.
That's what I figured. So yeah, I know what you're talking about, and we'll have to go to the college shops to get something like that.
And then we put some markers down on the map here. You're gonna see a giant D here in a second. Oh, pop up eventually.
Yep. Anyways,
D.
just follow me.
There we go. One would be right up here. Where? Right here. There would be a kind of a druggish looking shop right over there. And another kind of potion shop, at least from the outside. Somewhat up here. Let me grab this one, copy. Right up here for y'all.
So the dish-looking shop?
This one right here. However, this one specific symbol doesn't seem to have like the arm like with the potion inside of it. This one kind of has more like of an equation kind of looking thing. It just shows like the image of like the outline of a sphinx almost, just like kind of a silhouette, and an arrow sign going inward toward the shop. And toward the end of the arrow sign is like a bunch of like different creatures and animals just in white on the black arrow. But yeah. What are y'all doing?
I'm agreed to take a guess. And the first one was an enhancement potion shop, and this was a transmutation potion shop.
Actually, yeah. That was a good guess.
I'm not sure where Isdell thinks he's going, but he's going.
I will note that as you guys kind of go further and further within the city, and the population seems to get younger and younger. In terms of just like from like the really elderly people you'd seen coming in and just continually going inward, they seem to be kind of diminishing toward the area of young adult. And Isdell, funnily enough, Ring Dancer kind of catches up to you. Oi, where do you think you're going? Stay with us. Yeah, but do you even know this place? She kind of thumps you on the head. Oi! You're being secretive again. I don't like that. Come on. Spit it out.
He's dead. I know who did it. I can bring him back.
Alright. Now, are you going to do that alone, or are you going to actually get the people who can help you with you? She kind of gestures toward the rest of the party.
Hold on. This is something. What's going on?
Ring Dancer caught up to Isdell and is having a moment with him.
Oh yes, steady shooting shot. Moment sort of involved.
Yeah. And as I said as ring dancer, oi, are you just gonna go it alone, or are you gonna actually have the people who can help you with this? And gesture to everybody else.
Of course I can't do it alone.
Well, then stick with us, and we'll get it.
Well, I need to find out if my family has a place here.
And ring dancer look.
Your family is the one mentioned by the jailkeeper?
You can say that.
Do you know? Hey, what on? Steady kind of makes this, like, don't you say that.
That jail is something.
What's that? I'm sorry.
That jail was set up by my family. And
What?
I have
How can your family set up a jail
in hell.
by a, well, not necessarily in hell, but in some place that traps basically at random?
No.
Is your family in that?
My family is very powerful. Have you heard of the city of Cresta?
Steady has not heard this. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that. I'm gonna roll for that. Not worldly enough.
That's fair.
Maybe I could get a luck roll to see if someone passed through with it. Actually, that's all it would be.
Go for it. 1d20.
Okay, so someone does know about it because someone has passed through who's watching a party from that place. Apparently.
You might have heard it just in passing in Basin Sage, just as you know, you're very famous there, so people have no problem talking around you, and you may just had it slip in there.
What?
From Basin Sage, whenever you guys were walking around and things, you may have just heard it in passing.
Oh, like I said, I was writing the narrative that like from before all of this, someone came through when he was doing his pre-party adventure. Back when he was basically just protecting travelers.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah,
That's
that
what I was.
that makes sense.
I'm like, yes, I do.
Well, then you've probably heard of the Azar family, who controls the entire city.
Yes, that is something that was mentioned.
Well, you see, I used to be a part of that family, and there are quite a few spellcasters in that family powerful enough to create a soul prison. You got sent in there was because the jailkeeper just so happened to be the one to end you in a fashion. So the other two that were there, the other Persian and the other Phoenix Wolf, were sent there by the family.
There's only two there.
To figure out, huh?
Ring Dancer pipes in.
Stalker was there too.
Yeah, Ring Dancer
And
pipes.
Stalker.
Oh, there's a third.
Stalker was there too. What?
I'm just piping in his Ring Dancer. She's just saying, oh, like there was two? Wait, no, there was three. And she's just interjecting a little bit.
Three. I reached back to the photograph of them. Remember how we found that this person had been skulking around while we were asleep?
Oh yes.
She tried to leave the dungeon in the same way we did. Didn't have as much luck as the rest of you. Some luck I did.
Oh. Oh, that sounds bad. Well, and Ring Dancer kind of looks up to you, Steady Shoot. Are you gonna pull are you gonna be her Romeo or something and jump after her? Kind of laughs.
Wait, say that again. You cut out.
Oh. Ring Dancer was just like, well, are you gonna be her Romeo or something, Steady Shoot? And go after her. I'm sure she'd love it.
At this point, is when Stardust
Definitely
is
something
casting
that
group
needs to be stopped.
and says that Romeo was a tragedy.
Oh, I never got through that book. She kind of like sits down.
And
How
continues
much
on.
have you heard? How much have you heard?
You see, Star Dancer, I write sins, not tragedies.
And she just continues on down the road.
And
Right, so
beautiful's heading.
That conversation, didn't you?
Oh yeah, she missed nearly all of it except for that one bit, which was the one bit she could comment on, and
Yes.
continues on.
Well, Beautiful's kind of heading up the back. She caught just like a little bit of just the ending of that conversation. Ooh, are we talking love stories? I love a good love story, and Beautiful looks over to Steady Shoot, just not saying anything.
And I just say, well, not all love stories end well.
Kind of blinks back. Don't know what you mean by that, and she kind of puts her nose up into the air.
I don't know, your lover could end up in a soul prison. How would that feel?
Well, I mean, she kind of gestures to her body. I mean, I was kind of in a prison till you guys came along, yeah?
And Isla just starts walking away.
Well, if you're continuing along as per normal, feel free to give me perception rolls. Very nice. Ooh, there it is. Very nice. So we got those numbers right here. We go over here.
I do lean over to Izzo. I'm like, if anybody else caught that conversation, probably would have just
Yeah, probably.
Well, Darkfire and Star Dancer. You two are the first to catch a smell. There really isn't like a lot of, this is a more residential area, there isn't a lot of shops. However, way down the way, you do catch the same scent of like smoke and drugs coming from another shop ahead with that same greenish. Alrighty, they're all good. You catch that same kind of well, you catch the sight of that green sign kind of sticking out from the building, and the same kind of smell from of recreational drugs.
I kind of. Oh, that's a place to avoid.
And the raven kind of lands on your head, Darkfire. What do you mean? My master loves them. Oh, she loves a good honey dust. And the cat kind of looks up. God, no, she doesn't. She didn't. You got her addicted. No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
I point out that Little
Just
Star is
remember.
attempting a chance to whip out one of her amazing lines. She looks over at her hubby, leans in. There's only one drug that I need.
And you see him kind of flush red, pretty much as red as he normally does in combat when he starts heating up the room, and just a slight aura of heat emanates around him. In-
Dancing in the air.
he seems all of a flutter, although he can't fly. So, that is what you guys noticed. All right. Are you guys moving along, or?
Is the Phyllis.
Yep.
At this point, Little Spout's actually going to separate from the group, split the party. That is how real adventurers do things, right?
Indeed, indeed.
He's going to try to gather information. Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh. What kind of information are you looking for? What kind of information are you looking for, Little Spout? Oh, well, feel free to give me a small diplomacy check just for the area if you're just looking for somebody who looked like they might give you the information that would be willing to talk to you. And you have no problem finding them. Funnily enough, like I said, this is kind of like a more younger part of the city. And it's more like you hear it in passing before you even address this person. Like the same posters all around the city are here too. And one of the looks like about college age students is looking at this poster. Oh, I hear they got a new lineup. It's Ivory something. And that's pretty much what you hear from the side.
And little Sprout misses that she is like trying to like, oh, Ivory Top?
And his friend looks over. Yeah, yeah. Do you know her?
I've only heard this kind of bit. What are her dollars?
I don't know that much. I just know she's on this team. And he kind of rips down the poster and shows that same, like, Save the Princess poster.
No, we actually have to get difference.
Little Sprout begins hatching a plan. It's a terrible plan, but it's her plan, so she loves it.
You're gonna make us compete, aren't you?
Oh, come on now.
Steady is excited to compete. I know nobody else will be. Steady will be excited.
And,
Save the Princess is right down his slot. It's exactly what he wants.
Oh my god.
Star Dancer, just down.
Not saying the princess.
Yeah.
Shoot is also the exact kind of person who would be like, yes. Question and ignore that it seems to be questionable.
Star Dancer, you do actually pass by like some corner inns and stuff on the way in the direction of this drugstore. That seem like fairly well kept up. And you guys were looking. I'll put like a
Well,
big.
I mean, if they don't want to stay there and not follow me, that's fine. I'm waiting back to my rooms. After my other things I'm doing.
Well, it's not like we can stay with you, so.
Let's see if there's enough room.
Steady shoot here, there is never. Except
Yeah,
for all the places where there is enough. Objects.
I need to get shrink person.
yes, you do.
And then make it permanent. That way we can just change your shape out.
I don't think it works like that.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. I'm thinking of shrink item.
He's not an item.
I mean,
we can fix that.
he may be a tool, but he's not an item.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Steady Shoot. That was mean. I don't mean it, I promise.
I just turned to the rest of the party. I say we stay in this room. So we should move from now and not wait till later.
Fine by me, says Ring Dancer.
Sort of kind of glances at it. I mean, if you want to. I'm going to my suite over here. And
And,
she just passes by and continues on.
And Ring Dancer looks toward the others as Ring Dancer continues on. Well, it looks like we're not getting the student discount. Who's gonna pay?
Just make sure that they know they hate that.
What?
Not tourists.
And
What do we say? We're here on business?
and
I
start.
think I can get us a decent price. Don't worry about that.
Little Sprout is trying to find out where you sign out for discount.
Ah,
Probably in the college, but you're nowhere near us, so.
That hasn't stopped Little Sprout.
Okay.
That is what he's trying to find out.
alrighty. And sorry, I missed what you were trying to find out.
Where to sign up?
Ah, well, it didn't really have a sign up. However, you do know that, and let me like shift click over here. It does give you directions to go to this side of the city. You go to at least appear at the right place in the stadium. That's in.
restrictions on flying.
Well,
That would make Little Spout so sad.
I mean, there was other sphinxes like flying in your area, and a couple of them you did hear along the way just kind of go like, "Oi, they're letting their little girl fly alone." I wonder who their parents are. It's quite unfortunate. Must be one of those college.
Little Spout looks mildly annoyed. He's small. He's not immature. Okay, maybe he's a little immature.
That's
Like you
terrible.
knew it was coming.
Well, you do notice, little spout, right over here. The gates are closed, and the wall is kind of adorned with like the school colors of a yellow and kind of a navy blue. And like on it, there a bunch of those posters are plastered, and over top of a lot of the posters is another giant poster of the same thing, and it gives a more clear look at the two teams competing. Some of them seem to have, like, one side on the right is a more detailed poster. They all have like instruments in their hands that are all silver, and on the left side seems to be a more like a mage-ish kind of setup. There's like a lot of what looks like arcanists and people with books and wizards and that kind of thing. And among them is definitely,
Which one she would fit into?
and well, one of the sides definitely has a picture of Ivory Drop, though toward the back of the group. It's kind of like flying in with what looks to be like a really thick book. A really thick, like, wizarding book.
Oh, book. Little Spout strokes her little chin. She's clearly certain she's onto something. And then she knocks on the gate.
Get no response.
Knock, knock.
There's still no response.
Well, you tried. Why not?
It was worth the effort. As for Darkfire, Ring Dancer, Candlelight, the two familiars, Beautiful and Steady Shoot, you guys are going into the inn?
Yes.
Ah, you walk into the inn. And very strangely, as you walk into this really small corner inn, it kind of like opens outward. A lot bigger than it should be, at least looking from the outside. Bigger on the inside kind of thing. And certainly seems like it. And it is very nice. And as soon as you step past just the inner door, you start hearing like the sounds of classical music just kind of playing in the background. Though there's no band actually visibly playing. And this griffin kind of comes up to you, and he looks familiar actually. And kind of blinks. Oh, my lords! I haven't seen you since the wedding. Alrighty, are you guys just like standing there like aghast as well, or?
I'm trying to remember who this is.
Well, feel free to give me a knowledge history if you would like. History, yes. This would definitely be personal history, yes.
Oh. Okay.
Ah. Well, Darkfire definitely knows a little bit more than you, Steady Shoot. Yes, Darkfire, this is one of the griffins that actually sat you guys to your seats at the wedding on day 1 of this campaign.
Wow. Hello. Nice to see you.
Fades a little claw. Oh yes, very well, very well. I got new digs here.
I take it you came here by boat?
Oh, of course, of course. Why would I go through the mines? So dangerous. Then he kind of waves a little claw, like dismissively.
Oh yes. Why would you? Very be rather silly to do.
Well, they're not dangerous anymore. We'll put them.
Well, they still are, but I'm not there, so I won't comment.
Yeah, it's still.
Well, they're not as dangerous.
And he looks up to you, Mr. Steady Shoot. And I've heard a great deal about you, Monster Hunter. And he kind of gives you like a little shrug. And he starts like kind of beckoning. Come on, Lord. Sorry. I have to be professional. And he kind of bows. My lord, follow me. And starts going to the back. Like toward the counter rather. He takes you guys up to the, at least those who are following, up to the main person.
Actually, as he goes up,
Yeah, go for it. Basins age.
Basins.
And he kind of just raises an eyebrow. Oh, I was paid. And he kind of like strokes his little like really thin mustache. Says, "This mustache is very hireable for a butler look." The fancy
never
one.
actually went over. Steady said why he was invited. Actually, it was never revealed.
Technically, it's just never invited, but
Maybe just came across the invitation. Like, well, somebody missed this call.
Steady was legitimately invited, and I know, and I the player know why, but Steady the character does not.
Well, he takes you up to the front bell lady, who is actually a unicorn, and she kind of looks over. Oi, what'd you do again, Jeffrey? Looks over. Got friends.
So that's rejected.
And she starts already counting, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. She looks around your group. That'll be. And she looks up on a price chart underneath. Well, really underneath her desk on the side. That'll be 100 gold for the lot of you for a room big enough.
well, and I walk up to her. We happen to be here on business liaison.
And it blinks. Sorry, I don't know who that is.
Well, certainly for one of the world's first families, you can have a better price than that.
Give me a diplomacy roll.
Ariana.
And you roll. Think here really quick. Okay. And she looks over. Yeah, and they have to pay the same price too. Jeffrey's just looking back and forth, kind of nervously in the tense silence that is following this diplomacy roll.
Because she's flying over a cave.
Am I the only charismatic one here right now?
Steady is charismatic, but he's bad at it. He's both good and bad at it.
I rolled. I rolled it.
Sorry, I didn't really think to lead you to this, but I did want to be locked put in.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can do the bad instead, but my charisma score is 7.
I think if anybody here, if anybody here in this direct area is,
Very good for self. Huh?
Magical presence and personality.
what was that? I missed like all of that, I apologize.
Oh, okay. Well, Steady is technically very charismatic. It's all technically like magical presence and personality, and very little actual diplomatic skill.
And that's whatever you had said to Cooper set up.
I didn't really say anything.
Oh.
Well, I mean, they're just looking back and forth at you. What are you guys doing? I mean, Candlelight's with you. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can now. Aha! Alright, cool. Looked at my phone. It'll probably last for a little bit anyway. So, sorry, what was the question again?
Um.
Do you have anybody around?
Are you sure you've never heard of these records?
Positive. Go for it.
How's Aerilon?
And I just kind of roll my eyes and slide 100 gold on it.
And with that sense motive, I mean, it seems like she's telling the truth. She generally doesn't know, and she's just getting a little bit more huffy. Really. But she does accept the gold without the extra tag along on it. She looks to Jeffrey. Wait, Jeffrey, take them up to their rooms. They'll be on the 3rd floor. And he kind of nods. All right, miss. And he starts looking to you guys. My lords. Starts walking up the stairs. And Candlelight's just in the back going. Empty. Little Spout, go to this side. I mean, fair. So, flying, yes. Oh yeah, let me go to Star Dancer here, because Star Dancer went off and did her own thing too, and I haven't like gotten to her yet. Star Dancer. I mean, you passed. Oh, sorry. Recreational and like it's like things like honey dust and fey leaf, and like they all have price tags on them, and then like above them all is just like do not sell drugs to minors, and then a big old federal offense on it with like.
Oh yeah, just continue past.
You get all the way up to the door over here. And this one does have what seems to be kind of like ticketeers almost. And a couple of them look new, as if they're just like new, either new students in the university or just working a job. Look over. Hi, you have a student ID? Miss? You have a student ID?
I didn't hear that if they said anything to me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. They look over to you, and they're like, they're sphinxes that seem to be at least like freshman level age, and they just look over. Ma'am, do you have your student ID?
Yes, of course.
Awesome.
Got the blue card.
And as you pull it out and like it goes near the barrier, it just kind of separates around you, and then you're able to go in.
Yep. I'm gonna wait just kind of on the other side, seeing if they're gonna follow me. 'Cause I know that they won't be able to get in without me.
I mean, these guys are busy at the inn. Is there anywhere that you were going specifically?
Yes, I was going to go check my offices over at the Transmutation Building,
Gotcha. Well,
but
Turns out the office participated. That happens often.
but I was going to see if they were going to continue following me or spread out.
well,
Just that I'm not completely leaving them behind.
it doesn't seem
So
like.
I'll wait a couple minutes.
Gotcha. What are you guys doing down at the inn then, I should ask? Are you following Jeffrey, or are you going back out? Very nice. Very nice. And the two familiars would also follow you as well as Ring Dancer. And well, Ring Dancer kind of has like a second misgiving. Like, alright, well, you guys seem to have it handled. He kind of leaves the inn. I don't like fancy places anyway. Starts sprinting down the road, and you would see Ring Dancer, Star Dancer, like coming over here. Oi! Other dancer, get over here! Wait for me! Thump out. Ma'am, you gotta have a student ID.
She's with me.
Oh, and he kind of pulls out a small handbook. Just guess. All right, that should be good. Just hold your student ID, and he kind of grabs your hoof right
And
here.
I just kind of do it without paying attention to him because I've obviously done this before.
Yeah, yeah. And the place opens, and Ring Dancer kind of skips in. Ooh, lovely. And she looks around, and like the campus that you guys are on is extremely like green in nature. In terms of like it looks I mean it's sorry, let me get my words out correctly. There's a lot of greenage and hills and like sidewalks that go between like all of the different buildings. Nothing's really changed since you've last been here, Star Dancer. And the only thing that's kind of different is that you do hear the sound of, well, what sounds like a marching band now radiating outward. You didn't hear it before through the barrier, but you do hear it now that you're through it. And they seem to be just kind of practicing and marching around this place, this X-shaped building up here.
Which, of course, I'll have to ask. Nah, the music's fine, it's that sports stuff.
Well, they do seem to be practicing
Okay.
what you know to be like the literal marching band show for this event. And just over what sounds like a slightly megafied voice, you can't really make out the words from this far away, but you can make out some tiny little humanoid just up on a stand looking outward toward the band and seeing you direct them and give them instruction.
Well, I will look back, see if anyone else seems to be coming.
That would be up to these guys. Isdell, I believe Isdell, Steady Shoot, and Darkfire are all going in, and Candlelight is following them with the familiars.
Just kind of checking out the room.
Oh, yeah, and Jeffrey brings you to your room. Oh, and Beautiful's there, too. Sorry, I forgot about you. Gotta move her up here. Oop. And, nobody, because she's huge. And, like, Jeffrey gets to your room, and he still seems like really excited to see you guys, but he's trying to hold his professional manner together. And he kind of like looks over. All right, I suppose I have to ask first. He looks up to Steady Shoot and Beautiful. These are special rooms. You guys are more than welcome to have your own. And Beautiful's the first to jump on it. Yes, yes, get us a room. Get us our own room! Thump, 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 thump. This is on the 3rd floor, and Jeffrey just kind of stifles her, like, no, 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 hang on, hang on. You're gonna disturb the people below. Oh, sorry.
But just a big steady shoot.
She's a bit.
About the same size.
Yep.
Okay, and is that just so she on like a pedestal, or is it just the space?
She stepped off the pedestal.
Yep.
Because that would be weird otherwise.
Oh.
Just say my icon.
And I mean, Jeffrey is like, just kind of goes with it. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. We'll get you your own room. And he kind of has to bark the last little bit, like over the thump thump thumping, to get his voice heard before she stops. And he looks toward Isdell and Darkfire, and then looks to you. And do you guys want your own room?
Are you implying something here?
I mean, we have all sorts here. And he kind of shrugs. I'm not one to judge.
I'll take my own, please.
All right. And he kind of looks you up and down. Do you want a fireplace? Yeah, and Darkfire, he looks you up and down. And do you want a fireplace with that?
Yes.
Shall be done. And he kind
Please.
of and he kind of goes up to the door, and you see him just kind of press a claw to it, and kind of close his eyes a little bit. And then you see him do this really weird knock onto the door in different places, while he's keeping his eyes closed. And done. And he kind of pushes open the door, and I mean, it's even still a bigger space than what you would expect, especially in this tiny inn. He kind of opens it up, and it is a custom room, pretty much for you guys. And your guys' pictures are kind of up onto the spaces of the door. They seem to have been snapped while you were having that conversation with them just now, but they kind of mark where your guys' rooms are. And the one with for Steady Shoot and Beautiful has both of the pictures on it. And Beautiful herself is just like caught like mid thump, like, you know, mid kind of in place canter. Only the best. Indeed, indeed. And he kind of holds up a small token, which you realize is one of the people. And you hold up a piece of gold, one that you recognized you did put on the counter, but it's now in his claw. And he kind of does like a little shuffle with his claws, and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 appear. He kind of just gives them out to you guys. All right, feel free to give these a press if you need me. I'll be around. Otherwise, enjoy your stay.
What?
Just give him a press. Like, watch. And he kind of takes his claw and he gives it a little press. And, you hear, like, the sound of a small buzzing somewhere on his body, and he kind of pulls out, like, kind of a pocket watch. He's vibrating. And, as he does, he kind of flips it open, and you see, like, an image appear on the coin. See? Like this. What, you never seen magic before?
I've seen that joke. This is fascinating.
Well, welcome to a city of sphinxes, and he kind of bows, my lords. Alrighty, and you guys are just staying here for the rest of this night, at least?
I mean,
That's middle of the day.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, the traveling that you guys done, it'd be about 2 o'clock right now, but
You
like,
said earlier it's about noon.
I do hang out in my room for now, kind of eating a bit and brushing up my armor and taking care of my sword.
very nice. What are you doing, Steady Shoot?
no, I was told that the thing I want to find know where it is. And the only person that I know would know where it is.
Well, you're more than welcome to leave at any time and come back.
Yes, just gonna go look around.
Well, Star Dancer,
Like I
you
said, any magical, I don't know what kind of like you'd probably still be happy.
well, if you're following Star Dancer's advice, you did see her go north, and she did say that a school in this area would have more what he's looking for, more what you're looking for. So are you going after her, or? Star Dancer. Or both the dancers, rather. Very nice. Feel free to move your token there, sir.
You'll still see her at the gate.
Here. And,
Yes.
yep, and Steady Shoot just kind of thump, 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 thump. And you see the new Sphinx just kind of yeah, Yep, and Star Dancer lets you in, and I mean you kind of have to squeeze through the small opening, but I mean you're in.
I
Well, they're kind of protected of the campus, so
With the same sounds that Star Dancer was hearing, which is that of the practicing marching band, out on a small like hillock next to this X-shaped building up here, and seems to be being led by a very small humanoid up on a stand, which is the only reason you could see him from this distance. Well, are you guys going anywhere from here?
and at this point, go ahead.
I suppose if you're going somewhere, I would follow.
Okay. If no one else appears to be coming out of the inn, we will start heading up toward the transportation. We'll see that the conducting halfling over there has been passed.
And I mean, he stops. He cuts off the band at like what seems to be just like a good place for them to cut off practice, and you just see the small halfling just kind of wave back. And he kind of jumps a little bit up on his stand, and his little afro gives a little small wiggle. But he continues on with his band practice.
I know.
Describe this to me again.
I mean, are you there, Darkfire?
No.
No. Especially since we literally went through the gate and no one can get through unless they go through right then.
I did wait for you. You said you were going to talk about things in your room.
You did.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm going to. Is there? Hold on, real quick. In my room, is there a nightstand?
Yes. And funnily enough, there wasn't before, but as you think about it, it just kind of it's in place, and you see it there.
Okay, never mind. That's not useful. I leave and start walking towards up where they went. That we have.
I mean, you see Star Dancer and Ring Dancer and Steady Shoot just kind of already heading down the field, and as you do,
I just messaged Star Dancer hi.
and Star Dancer doesn't get the message. Funnily enough, it kind of boing, and you see this small ping onto the barrier of the thing, and you hear your own message back at you. And the front gatekeepers are just like, sir, you have your student ID.
Are they too far away now?
They can't hear you through the barrier.
I'm just like, I just missed something.
Miss two.
The three that just went through.
Oh yeah, that one's big over here. He kind of points to his friend. Could you go over and get them? He just kind of rolls his eyes. Fine, I'll do it. Kind of, boom, boom, boom. And it's like a very half-heartedly walking Sphinx, just like, hey, you, and she's just like calling out to you.
Servants will give a sigh of exasperation. Okay, who else wants in?
I don't.
Start heading back.
And yeah, he kind of walks back.
Issue has defended himself.
And walking back, the really exasperated Sphinx, you hear just muttering, God, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, really.
And yes,
You make the what's it called? The floor people do it.
and you are met with the sight of Isdell at the door, somewhat confused as, I guess, he's hearing his own messages back in his head.
Well, not necessarily confused, but
That's fair.
Take my ID out, wave it at the gate. Is anyone else coming?
I don't.
Kind of
I kind of have a thing I need to go check on.
And Darkfire, you get a message. Are you coming with? Just in your head. 'Cause I haven't stepped through yet.
I go ahead and I just kind of set my armor and sword down and like, look here, I don't need it to you. And I just decided to go ahead and follow.
Oh, unless they actually took away my axe.
They didn't. They did not.
Darkfire's on his way.
It's a mage town. They can do much worse things to you.
Yeah.
Alright, and while you let in Darkfire and Isdale, Wha- while you let it, while you let in Darkfire and Isdale, I'm going to go over here to Little Spout because we've left her out of the fun for long enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say something I've been meaning to say.
Yeah.
So when you said bouncing throw, the connection to who it is because I've seen part of the character. Because I've seen pictures of you. That was the way I linked to it.
So, Little Spout, what are you doing?
I believe you said something about falling, and Little Spout would try to catch them.
Well, no, they're just kind of like on the bridge, falling over, just laughing at you, running into the barrier.
They didn't fall over the edge, they just tipped over.
Yeah, they're literally raffle-mowing.
Then he gets a sudden idea. A terribly wicked idea.
Oh?
And so, she will go and she does the force field wrap around the top of the bridge, or does it just not even let her even potentially get over the bridge?
The force field will go up about like 200 feet-ish before it starts to kind of curve over.
Curves back.
Yep, you got it.
Awesome. What she will do is she will go right about level with everybody else, which she could just walk through, and then she makes a illusion of this like great big crack appearing in the middle of the air. Out of the crack steps her. Takes herself all silently and gives everybody a nod.
Are you trying to do this through the barrier?
Well, no, because she doesn't have to. She's just making a picture.
Oh, okay. Well, where are you making the picture, and where is she coming out? Is what I'm asking.
Well, she tries to do it just a little bit away from where people are immediately standing. Considering they're all
Oh, I got you.
Oh yeah, but the barrier is completely invisible, so what difference does that make?
Well, I mean, if you're trying to make the image go through the barrier, it would not. Like, even if it's just like a crack, and you're trying to make yourself in image form walk through it, it would not be able to go through it. It'd just kind of be a crack.
Yeah, no, she's basically just putting on, she's trying to make like a 3D looking image, but it's still a flat image. She's basically holding up an LCD TV to the screen and showing this.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Hmm.
But yeah, there's nothing going through the barrier at all except photons.
And
Technically, not even those. This is weird.
they keep like laughing right now. About at this point, they're in tears, and I will point out that I mean it's slightly muffled, the laughter itself. And I mean they stop a little bit to like look up and look at your illusion, and they kind of tilt their heads to the left and right. And like one of them just kind of pulls out a small book, and you see him start to kind of utter some words, and he kind of does the same thing back at you, but like with his own image. And then they fall over and laugh again.
It's like at that point, Little Spout just has her image walk over to the other image and wave at it.
You know what, Matt? It's the worst.
Mind you, she keeps the crack there because the crack hides her physical body.
Yeah.
As long as there's this great big dramatic looking crack, then they can't see her.
And I mean, you see him kind of nudge his buddy, and they kind of speak, but it's really hard to hear what they're saying through the barrier. And they kind of shrug, and they point at you, Little Spout, and then they point over here, right at the start of this bridge, right over here, like in the campus within this lake.
Little Spout frowns, so that's not to see. Sorry, if she could reach that point, she wouldn't need to be doing all this. So she makes her illusion, points over there, and then shrug her little illusionary shoulders.
And they hold up what look to be small student IDs, and then they gesture, more importantly, over to this bridge again.
The image points at one of their IDs and points back at herself. And smiles.
And they kind of face palm. And you see them kind of whispering to themselves again, and they kind of sit down. And I mean, they start talking, but all you hear is like.
Little Spout thinks she's getting closer. She is good at this.
I mean, what are you doing?
No, not that many things. Anyway, if she ever actually failed at something, that would help.
What was
So,
this?
who knows? This could be one of those times.
Well,
On the other hand, Little Spout gets an idea over her head. No, I mean, yeah, she did that. The other illusion disappears, and now there's just a light bulb floating up her head.
yeah.
And some scepter that she always wields, but has no particular function, extends her fire whip.
And the two students like kind of scramble up, and they look like a little scared.
But she does not attempt to attack them. She instead starts doing a crazy little dance with her fire whip, like trying to show off her feet moves. Really between fire and water. Yeah, she doesn't have performance. But she's trying.
Well, I mean, I would say you'd like if depending on how well you're dancing, you would roll a perform dance check with whatever modifier that you currently have.
Alright, you know since you're rolling.
Oh, perform dance.
Well. Sure, why not? So I think you just say, right?
Yep.
What's the worst that can happen? So on the positive side, she can't have tripped, which is very voting in the end.
Yes. So like you're spinning around, you're doing your thing, and initially they look scared, but you see one of their cheeks like kind of puff out a little bit, and they start snorting and just falling over laughing again. And one of them kind of takes out this very and at this point, like, one of them kind of takes out this really small box and just kind of puts it up to his eyes, and like he puts his finger inside like this hole in the side of the box, and you just see a small flash as he does so, and like he like pricks something with his claw, and then he kind of takes out a small crystal from the inside of the box and like taps it, and then shows his friend.
I was going to say, I have a fairly good idea of what might.
And he
I'm picturing Little Spout looks over her shoulder and like the tip of her tail is on fire.
No. Like, and he taps the crystal and shows his friend, and just, like he shows his friend, and the image is just you and like the whip kind of getting tangled around your tail, though it doesn't like seem to be catching it on fire per se, and like you have this really weird like mid-frame funny face on your face, and they just keep rolling in laughter. They're like incensed at this point almost.
I'm certain that this is working. And then she gets up a little closer to the barrier. She shouts in there, "I'm in person."
Oh, what do you shout?
I'm even funnier in person.
And I mean, they don't stop laughing, and they don't seem to necessarily hear you over the sound of their laughing.
Now, Little Spout has an answer for this one. As she dramatically points up, and letters just appear.
And they're kind of watching, like
In
these,
Comic Sans, of course.
Of course.
and they're watching this happen. They wipe off a couple tears off their eyes, and then they look up, and then they kind of shrug, and you see one of them nudge his other friend, and he kind of rolls his eyes and seems to almost say really, and he just the first friend who had poked him just kind of shrugs, and say I guess, and he does kind of like this. He pulls up that same like minor illusion, and him kind of muttering these words, and upward kind of shows a map of the general area, and there's a big red arrow pointing over here, right over here. Start answer, or not start answer. Little Spout.
Let's see how fast you can fly.
Oh, I missed what you said, Little Spout. Oof. Apologies. I keep missing.
Alright, so,
And they run over here too. And as they're running, we will go to this gang's turn over here. You guys will be about right here.
I'm just quietly following the start.
There's good music definitely playing in the background.
So if we just turned around and then the spout goes up.
Well, you see two sphinxes kind of running toward the entrance, and they're like giggling their butts off. Like they,
Oh, okay.
and you kind of hear them like talking. Like they run literally like kind of right past you. They sound like freshmen, and they just say, "Oh my God, she's such a fun time. We gotta show her the catnip store." And they keep running.